Tajjeb, process.
We'll wait to see if anyone else needs to join and we can start.
No problem.
So I think we can start. So good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to welcome you and thank you all for joining us today for this year's major stock. And I would also like to point out that this session is being recorded and posted in our first year Facebook group that is controlled by ASCS. The scope behind this talk is to help current first year BCom students to make a more informed decision when it comes to choosing their majors. In this meeting, we shall be discussing what banking and finance, together with insurance, has to offer us. Feel free to ask any questions anonymously by using the Q&A section below. First of all, also, I would like to thank Professor Simon Greenma, Mr. Andre Farrugia, and Dr. Robert Zuban for joining us today, together with Ricky Gallia and Maria Spiteri. Before we start our talk, we would like to ask you a question, and you should answer this with a poll coming up shortly. Give me just a second. So basically, what are your thoughts on your major choices? If you know which majors you want to choose, if you are certain about your one or major or another, or if you are uncertain about both majors. You have a few minutes to answer this question. That's 30 seconds. So if who hasn't voted yet, vote so we can close the poll and we start off with our talk. So these are the results. Basically, we can see that quite a lot of are still uncertain with one major, but they are certain about the other one. So thank you very much. So we can now start off by introducing insurance, where we have Professor Simon Greenma to together with Mr. Andre Farrugia, who will be speaking about insurance.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to this talk. And just to start off, I want to tell you something about the insurance department. And I've got a screen which I'm going to share. Hold on just 1 second. Is it okay now? Is the screen? Is the screen being shared, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so just as an abbreviation, the insurance department started off a few years ago, 5 years ago to be exact, in the year 2000, but it was part of the banking and finance department. It grew quite a lot during the years, and in 2014 it became a separate unit, the insurance unit, which I started off. On the 25th March 2015, it became a separate department since the numbers were growing, and today it is one of the 7 departments within FERMA. So, what does the insurance department stand for, and what does it do? The Department of Insurance is mainly offers mainly degrees in risk management and insurance. Insurance being part of risk management, because to insure the risks, okay, you need to have if you have a risk, okay, which is anything that matters to reaching your objective, anything uncertain, you need to either transfer it or else understand what it is, take the risk, or else let's say see what you can do with this risk. So the course is basically you've got an undergrad degree with a major in insurance, which goes to BCom level. You've got 2 years. I will explain more about it later on. A postgrad degree in insurance and risk management, okay, at MA level, master's level, and another master's at MSc level. The MA can be done full-time and part-time, while the MSc can be done full-time as yet. Then there is the doctoral level, which is the highest level you can get to in insurance and risk management. At the moment, we currently have 3 students at the PhD level, and in the first year of the postgrad degree, we have around 40 students. In the undergrad degree, we have around 198 students, which is one of the largest, now becoming one of the largest departments. The program includes the following elements: a common year, okay, in the first year, and then you've got year 2 and year 3, where you have to choose 2 majors, and then you've got year 4, where you've got the MSc and the MA in insurance and risk management. In the year 1, just to give you an idea of the setup, you've got compulsory subjects, which are mainly the ones that you're seeing on the screen, which is personal lines insurance, which I think, which Andre lectures, Andre and also Nigel Rosie. They have loads of experience, over 30 years experience in the field, and I'm sure you will enjoy those subjects. Then there is insurance market practice and principles, which is again an insurance subject, but it opens up into different areas. Then we've got sociology of risk, which looks at culture and how culture affects risk. In the second semester, we've got personal lines insurance. The second part of personal lines, when we talk about personal lines, we're talking about life insurance, health insurance, and I think, Andre, could you?
Personal lines insurance will tackle policies that are related to the needs of an individual. So we're talking about household, travel, boat insurance, caravan insurance, the usual risks that an individual would need to protect their assets, well-being, and liability.
Okay, then we go on to, we've got also a bit of regulations, because you need to have regulations. It is insurance and even risk management is high, and all financial services, if anything, is highly regulated. This governance, regulations, and compliance will go into all the financial services, because insurance is not just one type of, service, financial services, but it's the whole spectrum of financial services, including portfolio management, including investments, including forex, and all the products like risk management, compliance management, internal audit. And governance will go into how you should set up the board, how you should set up your policies, procedures, your procedures manuals, and all the rest. In year 2, you've got then commercial lines insurance and enterprise risk management. We're getting into, we started off in the first year with sociology of risk, where we go mainly into culture, and here we go into the enterprise risk management, which is talking about business continuity, about risk appetite, risk tolerance, and all the rest. Commercial lines, Andrea, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yes, in commercial lines, on the other hand, we are talking here about business risks. That means risks associated with one's trade, occupation, or business. And these are generally intended to cover aspects of property risks, commercial property risks. So we're looking at engineering, machinery, insurance. We're talking here about property insurance in general, and also associated covers like business interruption. And of course, last but not least, the most dreaded risk is liability, which can cost a fortune if you're faced with a liability risk. And luckily, there are areas of insurance here that covers employers' liability, public liability, and products liability, to name a few.
Then we've got, in the first year, we've got a number of electives. You can choose from 80 CTSs. You've got quite a good choice. For those who like mathematics, they've got, or econometrics, they've got IRM econometric principles, or else insurance financial management. For those who prefer other aspects like IT, they've got cyber risk and insurtech, which goes into, apart from cyber risk and insurtech, it goes also into IT risk management, in brief. Those who like accounting will have the insurance accounting principle, and mainly they will go into something which is quite new, which is IFRS 17. Insurance accounting is very different from the normal accounting. I am an accountant myself, and I am also specialized in banking and finance and audit management. And I can tell you that there's a very big difference when carrying out accounts or audits for insurance firms and risk management firms than for carrying out any other activity within the financial services. Then there's IRM, quantitative analytic principles, which is also very similar to insurance financial management, which goes into the principles of financial management, the principles of finance. IRM financial management, it's a little bit of a misnomer, because it is mostly the preparation for actuarial science, while IRM quantitative analytic principles will go more into preparation of financial management for all the types of financial firms. But they are very similar. I wouldn't advise to take the two of them together. I would take one or the other and then choose from the other two. Economics of risk management is more going on the macro level rather than the micro level of risk management. Insurance business development is, let's say, talking a little bit about what types of insurance there is and how to develop new products for insurance. In fact, in this case, you have a project, in this instance, you have a project where you are allowed to develop your own new ideas as a group for business development, for a new product in insurance or risk management. In the second year, in the second semester, okay, in year 2, you've got even more electives to choose from. You've got 16 ECTSs to choose from, okay, and they vary between the JE startup, which is not something that our department offers, but it is a faculty thing. That's why it's called the MA. Or else you can choose from our department's electives, which are investments and derivative markets. This is quite an exciting subject. At least it's one of my favorite subjects. It is talking about how you deal with investments, portfolio management, and how you hedge your risks using derivatives markets, using the derivatives. It is a little bit statistical, but it's nothing that's scary, and that is something that you will need to know if you are going forward in the area of risk management or reinsurance. Applied emerging technologies in risk management is again an IT subject. It delves into a little bit of it delves into DLT, the distribution ledger technology, smart contracts, and it is another interesting subject. It's a new subject. We did it for the first time last year, and it seemed to have been quite successful. Then there is Introduction to Actuarial Science. Well, here you have to have a little bit of knowledge of some quants, some quantitative techniques, because you would not be able to do this if you don't have the minimum knowledge in quantitative techniques or maths. Applied behavior risk management. This is a qualitative way of looking at things. It's a continuation of the sociology of risk. It's quite an interesting subject and quite new in its nature also. And it's being taught by somebody who has a PhD in the area of behavior risk management. Principles of takaful insurance. This is taught by a person who is very well versed in the area and has been working in the area of takaful insurance for a number of years. It is basically Islamic way of doing insurance. Contracts and company law is very, I mean, it's a legal subject. It's compliance, but compliance with certain regulations which hit the market of insurance. Forensic risk management will have a lot about, I mean, this is current, this is very new. I mean, this was done for the first time this year. It's very interesting. It's taught by a person who is highly, who is actually in forensic risk in the gaming sector. He is very well versed with AML, anti-money laundering, and terrorism, anti-terrorism also, and he is, the subject is basically on how to deter fraud and money laundering. Financial planning is financial advice. It's taught by a person who is now on the board of IOPA. IOPA is the regulator of insurance. She has a vast amount of experience, and she will be looking at, it's a qualitative subject, and she'll be looking at how to give advice on specific products, or financial products, not necessarily only insurance, but financial planning. Okay. Portfolio management also is taught by quite an experienced lecturer who has done a lot of portfolio management. He has even lectured me. It is basically portfolio management of not only insurance, but of funds, of pension funds, of alternative investment fund management. It is basically a whole course on how you should carry out portfolios. Then you've got, this is something that we offer. We've got some extra units. Extra units means you can take these units, but they will not affect your final grade, but they will help you to grow further. For example, you take an internship with a company okay, with any company because it's experience, and you log it. And then at the end, you just write an essay, okay, of a certain number of words, and an essay of your experience, basically. And this will come on your transcripts, so that once you finish, they will show that you have also carried out some kind of experience in the field of risk management, insurance, business, whatever it may be, okay? And you get a 4 ECTS for this. You can do this in the second year, in the third year, in any term, okay? Then there is also, we have also made some visits. This year we did it also just before the lockdown, or as before COVID. This year we visited generally a museum also in Milan, Generale in Milan, and Allianz also in Milan. And we visit also the Università del Sacro Cuore in Milan, the Faculty of Insurance and Banking and Finance. After doing this visit, you can also log the time that you spend there, and you even write a short essay about your experience. And for that, you get a 4 ECTS. There are some simulation games. We haven't played them this year, and even we have played them last year. However, these are 2 ECTS each, and they are ones on non-life and life insurance offered by Middlesea, and the other ones on health and captive insurance offered by Pricewaterhouse. Then there is another extra unit, which is giving some help to those who want to prepare for their research, and they want to learn more about research methods, but they don't want to do it in the master's program, but they want to do it here. This is mainly also for those people who are taking a second major in accounts, where if they want, they can take this course now, or else they take it in the 4th year. However, the students that are taking up insurance and other subjects, they might want to do this so that they're prepared for their, during summer, they prepare for their proposal for their dissertation, which will come up next year. Okay. In the MA, there is an MA Insurance and Risk Management. This is mainly for those students who have continued, I mean, the students who have a little bit more experience, okay, or want to do it on a part-time basis and have a job. This is mainly, you have two compulsory subjects, 3 basically, because you have a dissertation. And the dissertation is actually, I think it is 60 ECTSs, not 70. Okay, the dissertation is 60 ECTSs, and then you've got applied IRM techniques, which is research methods, and governance, risk management, and compliance. The rest are chosen. You can choose the rest of the ECTSs, which are, I think, 15 ECTSs from the subjects, all the subjects within the MSc program. And this is basically, if you do it on a full-time basis, it's 3 semesters, including summer, or else 5 semesters, including summer, if on part-time. The MSc, on the other hand, is when you proceed from the bachelor's degree. If you get a second higher, you can proceed to an MSc Insurance and Risk Management. Basically, the subjects, the compulsory subjects are as written here. They are advanced insurance practices, which continues strengthening on the subjects you have learned in your bachelor's. This is basically broking, underwriting, and reinsurance. Then there is advanced personal lines, which continues strengthening on the personal lines insurance, 10 ECTSs, which you did at BCom honors. And then you've got advanced commercial lines, which is the same. It continues increasing. Then there is risk management and theory and practice. This one is a mix between qualitative and quantitative. This needs a background of derivatives, investments, and it needs a background also of reinsurance and some insurance products. Applied IRM research techniques, this is research methods. It's just strengthening the extra subject that we talked about. Okay, this is a very important subject because the main part of the MSc is your dissertation. Geopolitical and environmental risks. This is a qualitative subject on risk management. It is taught by people who are in behavior risk management, in geopolitical risk and environmental risk. Governance, regulation and compliance management. This is regulatory. Okay, this is talking about mainly the regulatory aspects of financial services, the whole spectrum of financial services, not just insurance, but obviously mainly pointing out towards the insurance regulations also. So it will be talking about Solvency II, it will be talking about ORSA, it will be looking at GRC, capital requirement directives, and it will be looking at other compliance issues that you need to know. Then there is applied alternative risk transfer. This is, it's got some mathematical, some statistical aspects, and it's got an online game which you play together as a team, together with University of Latvia, a university in UK, Loughborough, and another university, I cannot remember which ones, but there are another 2 universities involved. Then there is psychology of risk, okay, offered by the management department, and the dissertation, which is a 30 ECTS dissertation. Many of these dissertations get published. This year we have 40 dissertations. We take them seriously, very seriously, and we work with them one-to-one, one-on-one. So we are practically 3 people totally helping each one, to get through this dissertation. Usually this dissertation starts with a proposal in around January, and then it starts getting stronger. I mean, working on it in the last semester, in the summer semester until September. At the moment, we've got all the students working on this dissertation. Electives, here again, you've got quite a lot of electives to choose from. You have to choose 10 ECTSs from this. You've got quite a choice. I think 10 or 20 ECTSs. Basically, you've got actuarial financial mathematics, which is totally mathematics. Risk transfer accounting, which is again accounting. It's strengthening the accounting knowledge that you had from the 2nd year or 3rd year. IT risk management, applied corporate finance, management science and decision analysis, which is a management subject, quite interesting. Sustainability and innovation, which is qualitative mainly. Advanced enterprise risk management, which is mainly qualitative also. This is in preparation also for an exam that you can take, which I'll talk about, which is the remap of the Federation of European Risk Management, Professional Risk Management. It's a professional certification, okay? And then applied ethical behavior. Also here we have an extra unit which allows you to log the number of hours that you have as visits to other universities, work experience and all the rest. So, recognition, you can always apply for Get Qualified. So basically the people who are applying for the MSc will all have to pay an application fee, nothing more. As far as I know, it is totally free, except for the application fee. We are also recognized by the Federation of European Risk Management, which is the largest body of risk management in Europe. And they've got an exam which is called REMAP, which we will be totally prepared for, and you can just do this exam when you finish the course. You can, or else while the course, if you feel like. It's a multiple choice questions, about 200 I think questions, and you'll get the REMAP certification of proficiency in risk management. We can get some exemptions, quite a lot of exceptions from the Chartered Institute of Insurance. Andre can talk to you about it. And when you finish the MSc or the MA, following that, you will, and you have the CII complete qualification, you will get a fellowship. I believe there are about 5 subjects which you need to do the assignments of, or 4 subjects. Is that right, Andre?
Yes, because the way the Chartered Insurance Institute is structured is by amassing a number of credits. Now, the advantage you have, if you take this route, is that thankfully, the CII, which is an international body, which is very renowned, not only in Malta, but across the world, thankfully, this organization recognizes the university program. So once you complete the program, you apply for credits, they give you a number of credits, and then all you have to do is top up further 90 credits. I believe it's three other units, and you get your prestigious qualification, which is called ACII. Then, of course, you can move on to fellowship, which is the highest qualification that is conferred by this institute.
And the fellowship is, according to what they wrote to us before, the fellowship is given to you if you've got the MSc, because you've done the project, you are given the fellowship. Public Risk Management Organization is one of the largest organizations also in public risk management. They also recognize us, and we have seen how important risk management is even in this situation with COVID, where we've got the medical health system and also the government having to carry out a lot of risk management functions throughout the whole period. Then we've got also the Malta Association of Risk Management that recognizes us. We've got an agreement with them. All these we have an agreement with. And the Malta Insurance Association, who are sponsoring part of the course. Basically, career opportunities. There are various career opportunities with any entity. I mean, the Central Bank of Malta has taken up students. Audit and accountancy firms are taking up students and have taken up students, and now they are in high consultancy positions. Banks, financial companies are taking up students. Insurance firms, they're always asking for more and more students. Alternative investment fund managers are asking for more students in risk management, especially, and compliance. Custodians and administrators are looking for risk managers and highly paid risk managers. Captives, which are on the growing side, and insurance managers. MFSA are always asking for people. And obviously the EU authorizations, organizations and associations and other lobby groups. In fact, I mean, hardly anyone arrives until the end and doesn't have a job. If they don't have a job, it's because they don't want to have a job. And even when they have a job, they finish up, I mean, after a year or two with higher wages. So these are the types of jobs that you can get. You can be an actuarial assistant, actuarial analyst, associate underwriter or underwriter, portfolio manager, investment committee member, consultant, insurance accounting, accounts officer, deal structure, financial analyst, financial advisor, and many others. I mean, they're not exhaustive. These are not exhaustive. And apart from that, you can even, I know people who worked in areas like health, for example, instead of working on health insurance, for example, within an insurance firm, they go and work within the health division to see how to finance how to carry out certain financial management or risk management itself. Basically, the widespread of jobs that there are, I mean, is never ending. The sky's the limit. In fact, I have also sent out a video on the jobs that basically that are being offered, or as the jobs that you can take within the insurance sector, not within the risk management sector or the internal control sector, because that can enlarge it even further. But you've got a video which shows the different types of characters that are needed. It doesn't mean that if you take insurance or risk management, you're going to sit down all day on a desk job. Actually, it's much, much different, and it's very exciting, and it can vary from, I mean, being on buildings, on sites, to actually sitting down in an office doing administration. So this is all up to you. Okay, Andre, you can. If you see me myself, I've been changing. I mean, now I'm a lecturer. I wasn't a lecturer before. I didn't even dream that I would have been a lecturer. And I do sit on boards. I do risk management. I do internal audit, compliance, AML, anti-money laundering. I'm a money laundering officer, and I do accounts. So my jobs are never ending and, you know, very varied. So, I mean, even Andre can tell you this. I mean, Andre, you have to put on the microphone. Andre, the microphone. Andre, your microphone's off.
You have to unmute it.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I muted it so that I don't disturb you. Thank you very much. Maybe a snippet from the real world. Insurance is basically, you can be either on the underwriting side or on the claims side. Now, when it comes to underwriting, we are talking about that part of the business where you are looking at risks and deciding whether to insure the risk or not. Now, it's not always motor insurance. You can have the most bizarre and odd risk that comes to your office for insurance. So every day is going to be varied. No one risk is the same. And therefore, this is what makes insurance very interesting. On the claims side, then I can recount a number of very interesting circumstances. We get floods, we get storms, cars that overturn. Unfortunately, we get also injuries. But it's very varied out there. It's very dynamic, very active, and very evolving too. So if you're going to choose a career, choose one where you can develop your potential. You are a complete university student with a multitude of skills and a lot of knowledge, which you can use to your advantage and develop this in the insurance world.
Again, I mean, you can. Sometimes it's a misnomer that I mean the department is called just insurance, because insurance is a big word where not many people understand it. You know, they say insurance, they think it is something where you are, you know, the person that you go to insure your car, and if you have an accident, you go to claim for the money. Well, I mean, it goes much beyond that. In between all this, there are a lot of services that are being offered, even legal, for example, accounting, portfolio management. There is the surveyors, there's fraud investigators, a multitude of things. Analysts, mathematicians, actuaries. It's amazing. I mean, even if you talk about airlines, the number of things that you have to see in engineering insurance, or else on airline insurance, boats. Okay, it's never ending. I mean, when I joined, I mean, I started off as a banker in the treasury department, and I thought it was the most exciting job. And now I think otherwise, I mean, when I came into insurance, the amount of things that can be done, you know, for risk management and for insurance is tremendous. I hope you have, I mean, I hope you like the talk, and good luck for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Simon Green and Mr. Andre Farrugia. To all those that are viewing, if you have any questions, there is the Q&A section open where you can ask any questions anonymously. I think, okay. If you have any questions, you can ask them. Maybe we give a few.
By the way, I made a mistake also on the last slide where I wrote BCom economics rather than, you know, BCom insurance. So the last slide is a little bit, you know, I need to change that to insurance. Okay.
The slide will be also made available. I'm made aware. If anyone has any questions, you can ask them now. Maybe we give a few minutes. Maybe someone asks a question. Also, now we have joining us is Mariah Spiteri. She to give us her experience with regards to insurance. Whenever you're ready, Mariah, you can start.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Mariah Spiteri and I will be talking about the insurance major. To begin with, I would like to thank ASCS for giving me this opportunity. Talking from my perspective, I highly recommend the insurance major as it opens a lot of opportunities for you with either many insurance companies and also sectors in risk management. Also, as of last year, you can do the Masters in Insurance and Risk Management, either part-time or full-time. I always wanted to choose insurance as it highly interests me because, in my opinion, insurance does not only provide you with academic knowledge, but allows you to appreciate more the fact that you become aware of important policies, which you might opt to have in the future for peace of mind. For example, if you want to buy a new car and you want to take on a car insurance, when visiting an insurance company, you would already be familiar with what it involves, the benefits, what it covers, and what it excludes. Moving on to the study units, as an elective of second year, I chose Economics of Risk Management, as it describes how economics deals with issues related to risk management. Also, the lecturer was one of the best lecturers I had, being Dr. Jonathan Spiteri, and there is also an assignment which is very interesting. Moving on to semester 2, I chose Business Continuity Planning, taught by Mr. Stefan Lia, as it is a very interesting subject to know about because it is not only used in the insurance industry, but to be exact, every company usually has a business continuity plan to avoid potential interruptions in its business. In third year, another elective I had was Principles of Tagaphone Insurance, which was one of the most interesting subjects I had because it was very different than the others. I had the privilege to appreciate more Islamic religion, its laws, and also Tagaphone Insurance, which was a new aspect from my end. That is all from my end. I wish you all the luck and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mariah. We have a question from someone, and it is how you can answer, or Mr. Andre Farrugia or Professor Green. Okay. One of them is how long do the masters take? How long does the masters take?
Okay, the masters is which one? The MSc is on 3 semesters. If you're doing a full, my goodness. If you're doing it full time, it's on 3 semesters. 3 semesters including summer. So it is from January from October. Sorry, from October till September. So it includes the first 2 semesters will be from October to January. From October to January, you'll have the first semester. Then from February to June, you will have the second semester. Then from July till September, you will have the 3rd semester. The 3rd semester is basically your thesis, your third thesis.
Okay, thank you.
And the masters MA by research, the other one is over 3 semesters, same thing, or else it is over 5 semesters, including summer, which would mean you will have another 2 semesters, October to January, then February to June, and it finishes in June. Or else you can start in February, okay, till the next January, or if full time, or else from February till the next February, then you've got till September.
Here's a result from the web.
Okay, we have another question. How are the elective units split between the second semesters in year 1 and year 2?
The electives can be taken either in year 1 or year 2. You've got in the first one you've got 8 CTSs, and the other one you've got 16 CTSs. So you can do the whole 16 CTSs in semester 1, or you can do the whole 8 CTSs in semester 1. But I would suggest you take, subjects from the first semester. You take 2 and 2 from. You split them. But it's up to you. There are some people who prefer to get done with everything in the first semester, mainly because they are, let's say, excited by the subjects in the first semester. This is basically done in that way because also certain lecturers can only lecture in the first semester rather than the second. However, there are some subjects which are very heavy on mathematics, and there are some subjects which are less heavy, they are qualitative. So the thing is, even if you choose 3, for example, from the first semester, if you choose 1 that is mathematical and 2 that are qualitative, you have a balance just the same. They're not that difficult to control, unless then the second major, is very heavy on certain areas. So you have to be careful how you choose. It depends also on, but they are quite balanced. So even if you've got, let's say, a mathematical subject in the first semester, we put in the second semester another mathematical subject of equivalence. So the thing is, you wouldn't miss out because some of them are very similar in that sense.
Okay, we have another question.
If you want to, if ever you want to ask me questions, or anybody wants to ask me questions, they've got my email, you can give them my email, and I will help them out even when they come to choose. So even when they're choosing the electives, it's not a problem. They can come and talk to us. We will help them out, even give them more information, and even if necessary, we'll let them meet the lecturers.
Okay, we have another question asking, is an honors available in insurance, or does it stop after year 3 and go straight into masters?
Okay, no, we do not offer the honors in insurance anymore, basically because we have integrated the honors in the master's program and put it a little bit higher as a level. So the insurance has been stopped, the insurance honors has been stopped from about, I think, a year ago. Not a year ago, 2 years ago it comes, because last year we did the masters. And the reason being, it's we're modernizing with time. We're trying to keep in line with what is being done in other countries and other universities. However, if somebody wants to do, for example, the honors in another subject, okay, and then proceed to the masters, there is also a path from other honors. You finish up insurance and banking and finance, for example, or insurance and another subject. Okay, you get the honors, and then you proceed to the masters. If you want to take that step, you can do it. But you are very well prepared without the honors.
Okay. We have another question. First, we saw that in the poll, many said that they are undecided about another major. Someone asked, what would you suggest taking insurance with as another major? It's quite subjective.
No. The thing is, insurance can go with any subject. However, because insurance is not allowed to take at the moment because of logistical reasons, because of rooms and all the rest, insurance being the last one is unfortunately not allowed to be taken with economics and with public policy. However, I can assure you that they go with public policy and economics, and we have included all those things that are necessary in economics. In fact, we've got economics of risk management, which is basically that, and it shows principles of risk of economics, and even policy. Policy is part of insurance. So as part of insurance and even risk management. So the thing is, on that count, you won't be missing anything because you will still be getting that information. On the other hand, with banking and finance, even I coming from the Department of Banking and Finance, I have ensured that there won't be any overlaps with insurance and with banking and finance. So banking and finance could be a subject because there is the whole spectrum of financial services, which we also include. For example, if you're taking portfolio management in banking and finance, I wouldn't suggest taking it as an elective in insurance. When you're talking about management, banking and insurance and management, yes, why not? Insurance and management, I mean, you need to manage insurance. You know, it's teaching you how to manage, how to be a manager within the insurance department. Also, again, there are some subjects of management, which if they are taken under the head of management, and let's say an intelligent person would not take the same subject in the electives of insurance. They would choose those electives which add value to the knowledge that they get from management and insurance. Again, there's marketing. Marketing also can help, especially with compliance. If you're taking marketing, you need to know, and you're marketing products of insurance or products of risk management or products of any financial services, you need to know the regulations. The regulatory part of marketing and the ethical part of marketing in insurance, insurance and risk management and financial services is very high content. I'm coming from a regulator also. I worked with the regulator, I worked in internal controls, I worked in risk management, so I varied a lot. I also worked in accountancy. So the strength, if you've got marketing and you've got, you know, the compliance sectors and the compliance and ethical issues in insurance and financial services and risk management, then you've got another complete picture. Or else accountancy. Obviously, if you want to work in accountancy and auditing, I mean, we give more strength to the auditing. Practically, we've got more auditing and compliance than, let's say, the accounting part, because we go into areas which the accounting in the beginning don't go into, like IFRS 17 and like what else, areas like of reinsurance, which the accounting as such do not go into. However, they're going into now. Basically, if you're an accountant and you have insurance, I mean, it's also very good. So all the subjects go with each other. You need one which is a specialization, which is insurance, and the other one which is a subject, I mean, that is complementary, or else that gives you, let's say, management skills or marketing skills or banking and finance skills. So I personally think that all the subjects go with risk management, even if you're taking, let's say, a medical course. Risk management is part of, you know, everything that is done. Everything that is done from when you wake up in the morning till when you go to bed at night, and even maybe while you're asleep, because you have to manage everything you do from the morning is manage your risks. If you don't take risks, we won't get anywhere in the world. So I mean, if you stay at home locked up in your room and let's say all day, even there you've got risks. However, if you want to advance, you have to get out of that room. And you have to understand what risks you are facing. And you have to understand whether you want to take those risks or you want to hedge them. So basically, it is your choice. I mean, I'm not going to, skew to one side or another. I mean, it depends on the person's character and the person's liking. But I can tell you that with insurance, you can vary you can vary your talents, you can vary into anything. I mean, even art, for example, or music.
Just to clarify but I think we've already answered this. How many electives need to be chosen in second year in total? I think.
Well, I've written them down. One of them in the second year is 8 electives, 8 ECTSs, and the third year is 16. This is to give you a choice. In other words, when you are choosing your major, so that you wouldn't have clashes, and also so that I make it easier on the person not to have, the person wants to choose more qualitative rather. They are more qualitative, they are more regulatory than they are mathematical. Then there are people who are more mathematical than regulatory. Then there are people who are, let's say, more managerial. There are people who are more entrepreneurial. It depends on the person. So I feel that leaving it at the stage of second year and third year, leaving a little bit of leeway by giving you the main topics as compulsory, but leaving leeway on the choice of subject, even because you have 2 majors, is an advantage. Is an advantage because you can choose, for example, you are interested in portfolio management. So you've got the subjects specifically for that area, although you've got also how to mitigate, which are compulsory. Okay. Again, another interesting thing is what we are offering. I mean, and I don't know if other departments are offering the same. We allow Erasmus. We allow students to go on Erasmus during all semesters, which are allowed by the faculty. I mean, for us, if you go second year, third year, second semester, first semester, for us it's allowable. Also, the amount of the universities, the number of universities, are a lot more than those shown on the university website, because by mistake they left out some of the universities. So there are a lot of universities within Italy, within the UK, within Latvia, within the Balkans, within the Baltics, where we have a lot of agreements. They are not showing, but the courses are all in English. So you've got ample space where if you want to go abroad, you can go abroad. If you don't go on Erasmus, we've got visits, we organize visits to universities and even to other universities and even to other countries or other insurance companies or risk management companies. This year, unfortunately, we couldn't. Every 2 years, we also do a trading game, which is the Rotman's trading competition. I was going to take up this year, for the first time, 3 groups of boys and girls. They have to be balanced, 2 boys for every group and 2 girls for every group, and they were from different areas. Unfortunately, because of COVID, this was going to happen in August. It happens every 2 years in August. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to postpone it till next year. So now the third years and the fourth years and the second years have a chance to apply, to go there in August.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Grima and Mr. Farrugia, for your time. And thank you, Mariah, for also sparing your time to join us today. Now we move on to Ricky Gallia, who will be giving us information with regards to banking and finance. Hello, thank you, Ricky, for joining us.
Can I start?
Yes, you may start.
Okay, so basically I'm Ricky Gallia. I've chosen economics and banking and finance as majors. With regards to the majors choosing with banking and finance, obviously, like Professor Grima said, it is it is linked with various majors. I chose economics because I saw the link between investment and economics personally. With regards to the content in banking and finance, in my opinion, it's split into three main categories. The law side of banking and finance, the theoretical side of investments and securities, and the practical side of valuing the securities and the quantitative area. So basically, the law subjects will be, there is in semester 1, 2, both in year 2 and year 3. With regards to the quantitative area, it is also covered in both years. The area which I liked the most was this part, the quantitative section, which is the valuation, the actual valuation of the shares, of the bonds, of the fixed income securities. In this section, it is really interesting because even if you will not work in this area, even for personal investments, it helps you a lot, I guess, because even if, for example, you continue accounting, economics, or any area, it will help you when thinking about what to do with the money which you've saved up. And furthermore, at the very end of year 3 and semester 2, we had the option of choosing an elective relating to crypto assets, which is the emerging technologies, and even in the first semester. I think this was one of the most interesting sub-study units, which I suggest that you will take on, because here we actually seen the practical side of banking and finance. We saw the most recent developments in this field. We saw the law relating to these DLT assets. In general, with regards to banking and finance, I guess it would be very much, if you don't like maths, you will find it a bit difficult, to be honest with you. But once you get the hang of the practical equations which are given in the banking and finance, it's quite straightforward, because you'll be understanding the theory, what you have actually studied by heart, sort of. With regards to the electives, I chose international finance and blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Whoever chooses economics and banking and finance together, I really suggest international finance, because it is the subject, the study unit, which actually links these two majors together. We're studying the finance from an economic perspective, so that was really helpful in linking these two majors together. Overall, with regards to the material, I think that's it. Another point which I would like to mention is the recommendation to pursue an Erasmus, because I personally went to Rome, for example, and there I took on 2 study units relating to banking and finance. And although they were very similar to the ones which I had done in Malta, Principles in Finance, they took a different point of view, which was really interesting, because like that, I could understand how other jurisdictions tackle different issues. I think from my end, that's it, basically.
Thank you, Ricky, for
Thanks.
your time. We have another question with regards to insurance. It states, is insurance considered as a huge asset when it comes to blockchain industry and DLT, and which are on the increase?
In fact, I have just answered it. I mean, on the insurance, obviously, I mean, when you're talking about blockchain, when you're talking about DLT, distributed ledger technology, I mean, the main aspect, first of all, the main aspect is for smart contracts, for captives, for what else? For derivatives, the contracts on derivatives, claims. All these can be used. You can use DLT for them. Okay. I think DLT in the future will also be used tremendously. It is already being used, and it will be used much more in the near future. In fact, we have dedicated one of the subjects on technology, which is basically talking about DLT and the different types of DLTs. And also one of the top journals in insurance, okay, which is the Journal of Insurance and Risk Management, Geneva Papers, is dedicated totally to DLT and blockchain. And also one of the conferences of IDA, the Association of Insurance Regulators, has also dedicated one conference, a very large conference, to DLT. I have also written some papers on DLT use in insurance and blockchain use in insurance, and I am quite surprised how we haven't, let's say, started thinking about. We have thought about DLT or as blockchain, as a blockchain island for Forex. But we haven't talked about cryptocurrencies, but we haven't talked about DLT for insurance and for payment systems of insurance. In my opinion, it's going to be one of the largest areas of growth. I mean, we've got also, if I'm not mistaken, we've got around 68 companies in Malta, insurance undertakings, and this makes us one of the largest in numbers. Doesn't mean largest in value under management, but the largest number of insurance companies in Malta. This is not talking about the TIIs, the tied agents, because then there are a number of tied agents. So I believe that, not I believe, I'm quite sure, insurance is going to be the savior, let's say, of Malta in terms of financial services. The growth is going to be tremendous, hopefully. Even on the fact that if you have these systems, InsurTech and all the rest coming in, you need to insure these systems. So if you've got the systems coming in, you need to ensure that the systems are safe. And you need to show to the regulators that you are insured against losses of data, of everything. And you need to show that also because you've got the new regulations, the PSD2, the Payment Systems Directive 2, and also because you have to prove it also to the regulator because of GDPR, okay, the data protection regulations. So basically, without insurance, you cannot be in line with, no company can be in line with the regulatory requirements. Even now, the medical systems, they have to have a PI, D&O, directors and officers liability. That there are lots of things that you need to know about, even in universities. I mean, you need to insure anything you do. I mean, even if you're training, I mean, if you do something wrong, you need to be insured. A director, you need to be insured. If you do something, I think Andre can talk much more about this than I can. Andre, could you elaborate a little bit? You need to unmute, Andre.
I always forget. For every occupation, for every business or profession that you undertake, there are associated risks. So across the board, insurance is an integral part of anyone's business, ownership, or any other capacity that a person is in. Requires some sort of protection. Now, in the business world, this is more evident because when we're talking about the responsibility of a director or an officer or a professional, this could translate into a very, very expensive liability claim, which thankfully can be insured and which an insurance company can back you up in this regard.
Even the fact that risk management doesn't mean that you close off everything and you mitigate everything, because you need to take the positive parts. So if you want to play in the area of, for example, Forex or trading, you need to ensure that you are taking care of those things that you understand. The things that you don't understand, okay, you've got a way with insurance how to transfer them away. You don't want to think about them, so you transfer them away. You can control them by having compliance officers, good compliance officers, good person who knows the regulations, the person who knows what you need to cover. But in the end, there is always an amount of risks that you would not know about or you would not understand. So those you would have to go to a person who is more knowledgeable in that area, and or else if you are knowledgeable yourself, and cover your backs. Okay. So
Okay.
DLT is going to create another DLT, or else is going to create another wave of insurance products and a change. And again, with the COVID, we've seen that this change, I mean, the amount of work that there's not only on the claim side, but on the profit side for new insurance products and new insurance firms.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Grima and Mr. Andre Farrugia. Now Ricky will tell us again regards to the structure of banking and finance.
Basically, previously I spoke about the content with respect to bank and finance, and I'm going to give you an idea about the structure of the course. So basically, if you take it as a major with any other subject, it's 3 years, like any other majors. Then there is the 1 year full-time honors, which is an additional year, the 4th year, following the 3 years of the BCom. Then, if anyone would like to continue with the masters, as far as I know, it's not offered as full-time, currently at least. It is offered in two different masters, the Masters of Arts in Banking and Finance and Masters of Science in Banking and Finance. Both of them, one of them is 5 semesters and the other 6 semesters. And the Masters of Arts is more related to the research aspect, and the Masters of Science, it's more applied. So that's basically with regards to the structure of Banking and Finance, if anyone would like to pursue it further than the Bachelor of Commerce at a degree level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. Also, we regret to inform you that Dr. Robert Suban did not join us at the last minute. He just informed us. However, if anyone has any questions that he or she would like to ask Robert Suban with regards to banking and finance, feel free in the Q&A. I will make sure to set these questions. I will send them to him and will try my best to get answers with regards to them. I'm really sorry about this, but he's just informed me at the last minute. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the Q&A, and I will send them to the HOD. Even if you have any other questions that you may think about and you would like to ask me on Facebook, feel free, or send the message to the ASCS Facebook page. Sorry. If it is possible, also we'll maybe try and reschedule the talk with Dr. Robert Suban, if possible, with regards to banking and finance. So we will try our best. If you have any questions regarding to structure, regards to banking and finance, can you clearly explain what is included in detail? Okay, will do. Maybe if Ricky could answer it, maybe he knows something about it, but I will ask Dr. Robert Suban about it. The question was, regards banking and finance, can you clearly explain what it includes in detail? Maybe.
So basically what at least what I've learned in the past 2-3 years, bank finance on the side of banking, it is relating to how the bank functions. So it shows the accounting side of the bank, the economic side of the bank, the policies regarding loans, how the bank makes money. So that's the aspect where it is very much related to economics and also accounts. And then with regards to the finance aspect, it's more related to securities. For example, shares, bonds, government bonds, explaining the different types of financial instruments which one can buy. And obviously this leads to many different careers in the area of the finance. For example, a financial investment firm, becoming a consultant in this area as well. So basically, overall, it's divided into these two sections. So it will have the legal side on each issue and also the practical side of the actual valuation of the instruments themselves.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. Another question is that was regards to the banking and finance. We have received, we have been informed that Dr. Robert Suban could not attend at the moment during the meeting. However, I will try my best to maybe reschedule it or send questions to him with regards to banking and finance, any questions that you may have. I'm very sorry about this once again. This brings us to an end. If anyone has any questions, do not hesitate to contact us and we will make sure to send them to him. Thank you once again, Professor Simon Grima, Dr. Andrea Farrugia, Marija Spiteri, and Ricky Gallia for joining us today and for your time. We have another talk at 5, which is regards to economics and accountancy. I hope to see you all at 5. If not, have a good summer and thank you for joining us.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you and good luck in your choices. If you need anything, I mean, you can contact me or Mr. Farrugia, and we'll get back to you. Okay.
Wish you well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Maria.
Thanks.